The African Growth Opportunity Act, known as Agoa, has fired or removed 12 African countries so far since 2014. So, as of now, only 32 countries are eligible for Agoa. 12 African countries are ineligible for Africa Growth Opportunity Act as of 2024. Hello, I am Mahlet Ayele, your host at Connect Africa, bringing you the latest from the continent. So as you all remember, in the beginning of this year, actually on 1st of January, the US has announced Agoa has removed, or the US removed 4 countries in the beginning of this year, which was Uganda, Central African Republic, Gabon, and Niger. But now, as I told you before, it was removing on different years, removing different African countries from AGOA and not reinstating back. So far now it has been accumulated, and 12 countries are ineligible for the Africa Growth Opportunity Act. So just to say a little, AGOA is, it's established in 2000. Since its enactment, which is 2000, the African Growth Opportunity Act has been at the core of US economic policy and commercial engagement with Africa. Okay, this is one side of the story, because the other side is the US has been using this as an instrument, like the IMF and World Bank, whenever they want removing the countries from this opportunity, whenever the leaders are not bowing or in line with the US. So it has not only commercially, it's one of the core things that the US have been engaging. It's also a political tool where the US has been using against African countries. Let that be clear. Now, furthermore, what AGOA is it eliminates import. What AGOA is that it eliminates import duties. It will allow these African products to enter to the US market with duty free. So far 6,000 products are entering to the US. Now the legislation has been extended several times. As of now, it's only extended until 2025. So after 2025, unless it's renewed, it might not be extended. One congressman has proposed that for it to be extended until 2040. So, but that was not approved so far. Now, without further ado, let's go and talk about what are I'm going to put them on alphabetical order, but these are the countries. I just put the flags. So the first country is Burkina Faso. So Burkina Faso, it's firstly removed from AGOA because of following the revolution, or they call it a coup, the government change in Burkina Faso. That is Captain Ibrahim Traore, who came to power 2022 September. So they were removed actually on January 2023, and the reason is, of course, for what happened there, change of government, and that government is not bowing to, it's kicking the neo-colonialists, the imperialists. Some I don't know if the US has an army there, but Burkina Faso is really committed in breaking that shackle of neo-colonialism. Now, the second country is Burundi. Okay, so Burundi is removed in January 2016. Up until now, it's not reinstated. It's because the US said the president continued for a third term. The African leaders, the more than 2 terms is not allowed, but most of them, they amend the constitution and they take third term. And sometimes also there are leaders who take 4th term. Now, I'm not saying the Burundi president should take this, should stay in office for a third term, but it's up to the people of the Burundi people. It's if they want the president to stay, let him stay. But if not, it's also in the hand of the Burundi people. It's not in the hand of the US, because now basically US, by removing Burundi from the African Growth Opportunity Act, who is going to really suffer? It is the people and the economy. When we say the economy, the people will suffer. Do you think the elite will suffer? No. So those who have the access to enter to the Agoa free trade or the duty-free trade will not have the access. As a result, they will close the companies. When they close the companies, there will be job losing. So the people are suffering. It's not really the political elites. That's my point. Now, we have then Cameroon. Cameroon, it's Paul Biya. This is the president. Cameroon is removed in 2020. Now it lose its preferred trade status under the U.S. African Growth and Opportunity Act on January 1st, 2020. This was announced. They said it's human rights record, but God knows really what the reason is. Now, the next one is Central African Republic. Now, Central African Republic is removed 2024. It's just fresh in January 1st. It's removed. The reason is because it's Uganda's and Central African Republic case is the same. It's controversial homosexuality bill, where the USA, it's a very recognized human right, so they shouldn't violate that. I mean, who are you? Who is US to say so? If these countries think that this is the best, I mean, who are you to say so? You are violating actually the human right in those countries. I mean, that's what I would say. Now, let's go to the next one. Now, Ethiopia. This is a very close to heart matter for me as I am an Ethiopian. So Ethiopia is removed on 22nd on 2022 on January. It's always January 1st is the announcement. Agoa. It's interesting. Anyway, so Ethiopia, let me tell you the story because I really know about this. Ethiopia was in war in its northern part of the region or the country in the north part with TPLF. And because of that, the US was publicly supporting and sponsoring the TPLF in the northern part. And because they wanted to remove Prime Minister Abiy, that's why they removed Ethiopia from Agoa. Look, they go this much, this far, to remove you. If they're using it, it's a political tool they're using to punish these African leaders whenever they are not in line with them. They're not in line means that maybe they are very much in line with their own people, but just not in line with you. So guess what? Like 2 million or more than 1.5 million people, Ethiopians have lost their jobs because of this. Who is suffering now? Now, let's move to the next one. This is Gabon. Gabon is also so fresh. It's removed on January 1st of this year. The reason is because of the change of the government. It came through a coup. The US did not really condemn this when they came to power, but there was one trade agreement that the Gabon government have revoked from the US. So it's just consequential, for what happened to the US. Whenever they want you, whether you come by killing so many people, whatever, they will support you. But whenever you touch their benefits or their interests, then that's where they mess with you. So, and Agoa is a perfect tool to do that. Now let's go to the next one. This is Mamadou Doumbouya of Guinea Conakry, and of course, what happened there is the US has called it due to actions taken by each of their government in violation of Agoa statute. Now, Mali, Guinea, and Ethiopia were removed at the same time in 2022, 1st of January. So having said that, I go to Mali, Colonel Assimi Goïta. This one is also one of the leaders of the Sahel states, where they are fighting imperialists, neo-colonialists, which the US does not like. Okay, so they don't want anyone, those African leaders, they want them to be just small and obey and be an errand boy and implement to the interest of the people of America, or to the government of America. But whenever you are committed to your own people, then that's when you face a lot of sanctions by the so-called, by the Western countries and the so-called international organizations, but which work only these international organizations are only errand boys of the Western countries. Okay, they implement their interest. Now, this is Mauritania. Mauritania, the reason is that, as I say, it was terminated from Agoa several years ago. This is 2014, 2019 actually, to worker rights concerns. However, the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative states that Mauritania will be reinstated to the program effective 1st of January 2024, but it's not reinstated yet, okay? Just know that. Now, Niger is again, it's removed beginning of this year, again for the change of the government, who is, Mohamed Bazoum, who was really a perfect servant of the U.S., and the neo-colonialists have been removed by a military regime now led by General Abdurrahman Tihiani. And the Nigerians, most importantly, they love it and they have welcomed it. They have kicked off the French embassy, the French military, the French ambassador. They are cutting ties with any Western countries, and also they have told the Americans to remove or to minimize their military, because the U.S. has the biggest military base in Niger. Actually, it's like its drone base is like the headquarter for Africa. So they don't want that. So that's why they are removing Niger from there. Now we have South Sudan. The reason for South Sudan is according to a proclamation signed by the US President Barack Obama, he has determined that South Sudan, along with, at that time, Gambia, but Gambia later on was reinstated, are not making continual progress in meeting the requirements. This is what he said under the African Growth Opportunity Act. But there was no specific requirement that these people have surpassed at that time. So, well, perhaps South Sudan has messed with some kind of interest, the interest of the US. That's the reason, usually. Now, Museveni, this man is not a joke. So they removed Uganda on 1st of January this year again, but I came in when those 4 countries that were removed in 2024, I have briefed you here, but so Museveni, together with Central African Republic, the reason was, of course, for passing that controversial bill against homosexuality, and he clearly said, this is what is best for our people, and we are not going to be dictated by anyone. Do not bring your culture here. Do not impose it on us. And the man has been serious, and he's really outspoken. He said when he was removed from Agoa, when Uganda was removed, he said, we will make a better deal with those partners, with countries who respect us, who see us as equal partners, who do not judge us for anything, but the trade. Okay, so as he said, he's trading with China, with Russia, and he's concentrating also with the Middle East. But also he's doing, especially they're doing very good with Tanzania, in the region. So these are the 12 countries that have been removed so far since 2014 up until now. So as of now, it stands that 12 African countries have been removed by the US from the Agoa, for the very reason is, to help the economy of these African countries, letting them buy, exporting their goods duty free. So, but that's it's a non-reciprocal one, and they have been renewing it. Now it's renewed only until 2025, and 12 countries have been removed. So far, 32 countries are still eligible. But there are different research that are published, that are coming out. They're saying that the countries, actually, the African Continental Free Trade Area is much beneficial than the African Growth Opportunity Act. And African countries, these researchers are suggesting that African countries should focus on implementing AGOA, in implementing the African Continental Free Trade Area, than on Agoa and then crying whenever they are removed by the US, because their fate is literally in the hand of one country, which is the US. Now, just to say a little, the difference between AGOA and the African Continental Free Trade Area is AGOA offers incentives to encourage Africans to develop outward-looking sectors, while the African Continental Free Trade Area, through its larger African market, will enable businesses to hone and specialize their activities by aligning themselves with the competitive advantage that the two treaties offer. I mean, what do you want? I mean, it will allow you to sell your goods to different African countries, which is much closer to you than selling your goods to Europe or the US, and then whenever they want, they are canceling you. So we better, I mean, our problem is really we are not looking inward, and we better start to do that. Thank you very much again for tuning in. That was it for me with regards to AGOA. Whenever there's something I come and update you, please go ahead and let us know in the comment section. What do you think of actually AGOA? Is this really beneficial for African countries? Let us hear it from your country of origin perspective, whether you are an African at home or African abroad, okay? And go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you like what brings you here, please give it thumbs up, right? And share the video. Let's empower each other with knowledge and information. If you want to help us further, please go into the description section and donate to our PayPal account. That will help us definitely to be here more often. Thanks again. I really appreciate each and every one of you for your comment, for your suggestion. It means a lot. Please continue to do so. Bye bye. I will see you on the next one.